generation of the MX-5. In this video, we're talking about the second generation MX-5. So today we are here with the second generation MX-5, and this one that we have is the ultra rare Mazdaspeed version. We'll go into that a bit later, but first glance with appearance, you're almost sad to see the pop-up headlights go from the first generation to these more subtle headlights here. But there are some benefits appearance-wise for the second generation. First thing that pops out is nicer wheels. You have some nice wheels to actually make the car look a little sporty and a little bit more presentable. In the rear end, we also have a rear spoiler back here to give it that sporty performance look. Other than that, in comparison from the first gen to the second, appearance-wise, you don't see a whole lot on the exterior of the car. But let's dive on inside and check out the inside of the car. There are some very noticeable differences in the interior of the second generation MX-5. To start with, you have power windows, so now I'm gonna have to go get a gym membership instead of cranking up those windows. At a second glance here, you also have a bit more styled dash. It's not as plain and flat as the first generation. You have some curvature to it and a little bit more oomph to the design. Steering wheel wise, you have different textures here, and of course on the door sill here, you have the Mazdaspeed. Another fantastic thing about the second generation is the Bose surround system. The radio system in this car is phenomenal. I'm excited to blast the music. You're going to need a good surround system if you have the top down with all the wind noise. And the seats are comfortable, they're very sporty, they hug your body. Air conditioning was not standard on these cars, so it was an additional package that you had to purchase. So if you didn't have the AC option, the top down and maybe a little bit more speed to get that wind flow in would be necessary. So excited to take this one out for a drive and test it out. So under the hood of the second generation MX-5, we have a 1.8 liter engine, which came both naturally aspirated as well as turbocharged. Here with us, we have the Mazdaspeed option, which came with the turbo engine. The differences between the two, with the naturally aspirated, you had roughly 140 horsepower, and with the turbo, you had 178. So almost a 40 horsepower, 38 horsepower difference between the two. It's still rear-wheel drive, and the transmissions that come with it is a 5-speed manual with the naturally aspirated engine and a 6-speed manual with the turbocharged engine. It's roughly 2,500 pounds, a little bit more than the first gen, but you get a little bit more to it, such as airbags, some additional safety features, and what have you. Still a very fun car, and I'm so excited to head out onto the road and test drive it. Let's go for a ride. The second generation MX-5 car was definitely a different experience than driving the first gen MX-5. It was faster, it had better handling, it felt like it had a stiffer suspension, and it felt a little bit heavier though. It did feel heavier than the first gen MX-5. However, the handling capabilities and the additional power definitely kind of made up for that. It had shorter gears, which I wasn't too fond of the gear ratio of the car. I felt like they could have ran longer gears in the car. But other than that, that was probably my only concern or disappointment with the second generation MX-5.
Hope you enjoyed the video. Please subscribe to Automotive Affairs and click the notification bell.